this is a hard cutoff. This is Netflix actively saying we do not want to be associated with Dead by Daylight anymore. Hey foodies, okay, so I am back after, I don't even know how many months off I took. It was something crazy, probably too many, but we're back and we're going to try to post a lot more regularly. So to the about 70 of you that have stuck around, mwah, I love you, I appreciate you, and to those to come, welcome in. We have fun here. Nothing of substance is said, but we have fun here. Even though today we do have, we have some bits to get into, we have some news. It's fun stuff. I am actually pretty devastated by some of the news today. We're going to get into that in a minute. We're going to cover 3 topics here. So we're going to talk about Hellraiser coming to Dead by Daylight. We're going to talk about, I should say the prospect of Hellraiser coming to Dead by Daylight. We're going to talk about Stranger Things leaving Dead by Daylight. And then we're going to talk about some channel changes that I'm very excited to announce to you and talk about. We're going to hop right in. And we are going to talk about Hellraiser coming to Dead by Daylight, specifically Pinhead the Killer. Now, if you know anything about if you keep up with the leaks community, you know that this is starting to seem more and more like a thing that is going to happen. Obviously, we have seen the Dead by Daylight _ Hellraiser _ final teaser, and all these things that are leaking out to where it's really starting to seem like either Hellraiser Pinhead, obviously, is coming, or they're trying to set up something that would be akin to a red herring, but I want to kind of debunk that one. I want to debunk some of what I've heard about, oh, well, what if it's just a red herring? If it's a red herring, I would go as far as to say that it's more just outright deception than a red herring, because a red herring is different from an outright lie. So if you're watching a whodunit and you're trying to figure out who it is, and it really seems like the butler did it, it's looking like it's gonna be the butler, but then it turns out it wasn't the butler. I just realized I have my headphones on. I don't need those for this video. Anyway, it seems like the butler did it and everything is pointing to the butler, but then swerve, it was the maid, or it was somebody in the kitchen crew, or it was a wealthy friend or something, whatever it would be. That's a red herring. The butler was a red herring. However, if the story comes out and tells you it's the butler, and they show you from the butler's perspective where he's killing the person, and they make it to where it is undeniably the butler, and then it turns out it wasn't the butler and that was some kind of trickery, that's not a red herring. That's just lying to your audience.
You're a liar! You're a liar! You know something that you're not telling us, you slimy scumbag liar!
So what we're seeing here with Hellraiser, specifically the leaked code that makes it seem like it's Hellraiser, that feels less like a red herring and outright deception if it's not Hellraiser. Now, I'm going to put it up on screen real quick here. I point this way. I think it's going to be that. I don't know. Wherever I put it up, I'm going to show you the television scene, and I'm also going to show you the Dead by Daylight trailer. So let's do the television scene. And now what I want to do is I want to show you the teaser that Dead by Daylight has put out for this upcoming chapter. So here you go. Now, as you see, there are some similarities there all the way down to the static on the television, which is, by the way, no means, I should say, associated only with Hellraiser, but it is a bit of an uncanny resemblance going on here. And then you add in that the teaser has the date 1987 on it, on the television in the top right corner, and Hellraiser, the original one, came out in 1987. It really does seem like it's going to be a Pinhead chapter, which to me has always felt like not as much of an if, but a win. I always assumed that we were going to get a Hellraiser chapter at some point. It's something that the devs have said they're interested in. It's something that makes a lot of sense for the game. And to me, I can only speak from my personal point of view here. When it was leaked, again by Leaks by Daylight, a fantastic A fantastic reason that that's the only reason I'm still on Twitter, is to keep up with Leaks by Daylight. And when they found out, amongst others, with the data mining community, that there was going to be a legendary skin as soon as this new chapter dropped, which by the way, first time that's ever happened, it really kind of confirmed it for me. I would assume you're going to get one of the other two male Cenobites, possibly the female Cenobite, alongside Pinhead. So this one seems pretty open and shut to me, but I would be interested to see if you guys disagree. Do you think it's possibly the Candyman chapter that I think exists already to some extent and keeps getting kicked down the road? Or do you think it's something else entirely? Let me know, but that's going to really do it for my take on the Hellraiser situation. If you want really a more intelligent discourse around it than I can provide, because I'm not a data miner, and I'm no Hellraiser expert, by the way. I've seen the first film. I love the first film. Have not watched any of the sequels. So I am far from an expert on the Hellraiser franchise. But you can go to Twitter. I'm going to put it up here. Leaks by Daylight is a fantastic resource to keep up with everything coming out, not just for this chapter, but presumably for upcoming chapters as well. And you can keep up with skins that are going to come out and all that. So I just wanted to plug them there a little bit. They're a fantastic account, and they have really given me a lot of what I've had to go to work off of with this, outside of just gut feeling, which I kind of thought the twins were going to be a Wendigo, so what the hell do I know? Moving on, we are going to go to some very, very sad news. This has created that just unhappy feeling in my stomach. It is a punch to the gut. If you haven't heard it, it's all over the Dead by Daylight community, so you probably have. Stranger Things is leaving Dead by Daylight. What does that mean, though? Because I've heard a lot of takes on what that means, and it's kind of interesting because the devs address it in the blog post, and the Twitter account is answering questions for everybody that's curious. So I don't know how misinformation has gone out there, but I'm going to do my best to curb it some and just tell what we know to be factually correct. So on November 27th, Stranger Things will be leaving Dead by Daylight. What is leaving, though? Well, what is leaving is your ability to purchase the Demogorgon, to purchase Steve, to purchase Nancy, to purchase any skins for these characters. After that date, it will become something of a collector's item. If you do not have any of those three characters by November 27th, you will never be able to purchase them again unless somewhere down the road, Dead by Daylight renegotiates a licensing agreement with Netflix and are able to add Stranger Things back to the game. But this is a hard cutoff. This is not a thing where it's, oh, they're just not going to release any new content for them. No, see, that's a similar situation to what's going on with, say, Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers. They added them to the game, they added the maps that came with them, and then they really never did anything else outside of reworking Freddy's power and reworking the bad on preschool. I couldn't remember it. Gosh, I should have made a script. This is not that. This is Netflix actively saying we do not want to be associated with Dead by Daylight anymore. We are done. Our contract has ended and we are not interested in renewing. Now that's pretty shocking and rather upsetting. It's not public knowledge why that happened. It is not public knowledge why it is that the folks at Netflix are no longer interested in working with Dead by Daylight. And here's the thing, it's obviously the people at Netflix. Behavior would not say, oh, we don't really want to have the Demogorgon in our game anymore. There has been no controversy with Stranger Things at all that would lead me to believe that Behavior was like, ooh, we want to disassociate from that property. So what I mean by that is, imagine if they had, and we're going to do some time jumping here, right? Imagine if they had the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers in their game, and then everything came out that has kind of sullied that franchise. That would be a situation where Behavior might go and they might say, when this deal is done, we are no longer interested in having this character in our game. But that's not what's happening here. What's happening is very likely Netflix wanted to either raise the price in the renegotiation, or there has been some kind of change and they no longer want to be associated with Dead by Daylight. It's just speculation at this point, so that's all I'm really going to offer in the way of speculation. Regardless, it is very sad news. I've seen some. Scott Untitled, John, I never get his last name correct. I'm very sorry. I need him to say it like just message me. He had a very funny take on it, that he's going to be glad not to have to play on Hawkins anymore. But outside of that, it's a lot of sadness, and I feel especially bad for somebody who's not into the game currently that gets into it on November 28th or later. So they go up against the Demogorgon, or maybe they see Steve the Hare Harrington running around, and they really want to be a part of that, and they can't. It's just not going to be a thing they can do, unless, again, there is an agreement later down the road. So very sad there, and in my initial what does this mean, I didn't mention that, yes, the one thing that is leaving is Hawkins Laboratory. That map will no longer be active, which is sad for me on two fronts. Firstly, I think it's a fun map. I know a lot of people hate the map. I tend to be a fan of indoor maps, and the ability to do scratch mirror mires and things like that, it's just nutty fun. And I think aesthetically it's a very pleasant map. It's just a lovely map. The added benefit of having the dead scientists lying around everywhere, I don't know that any other map has dead bodies like that, so it's very unique aesthetically. Additionally, I'm sad because I'm a clown main. I play loads and loads of clown, and that is one of the maps that clown really does well on. There are not many maps that I look at and I say, this is a clown map. This is a map designed for the clown. But that was one that clown did really well on, and I'm very, very sad to see it go. Additionally, I'm just sad because I know other people, there's somebody out there, I don't know who it is, but somebody, that's their favorite map, and it's being taken from the game. So very, very sad news there. You know, if you're glad to see Stranger Things leaving, you know, that's completely your prerogative. And if you're sad about it, I do offer the consolation of saying you will still be able to play as the Demogorgon, you'll still be able to play as Nancy, still be able to play as Steve, and if you have cosmetics for them, you're going to get to keep those. You're going to keep that lovely Scoops Ahoy outfit, or the Jonathan Byers, or whatever it is. You are still going to be able to play those. It's just sad for people in the future who don't already have them. They will not be able to. And that is pretty disappointing news. And I certainly hope that at some point Behavior and Netflix can come together and figure this thing out. But you know, one thing I've learned about these legal cases, especially through following the Friday the 13th lawsuit, these things take forever, and happy endings are the outlier, not the rule. So that's going to do it for the Stranger Things portion, and that's mostly it for the video. I do want to close out with a little bit of channel news. So obviously, I stepped away from this channel for quite a while. I did not post anything. It was a minimum of 2 months. I actually haven't really kept up with it very well. The only updates on this channel have been people commenting on my video about which killers I could beat up and telling me no, they would all destroy me, which we might have a response coming to that soon. I don't know, that would be kind of fun. But what I wanted to let you know is, if you've watched through to this point in the video, this will not be a DBD exclusive channel anymore. I'm going to cover topics I want to talk about. Now, a lot of the time, what I want to talk about is Dead by Daylight. I am a massive fan of Dead by Daylight. I stream Dead by Daylight usually 3 to 4 times a week. I'm a big fan of the game. I've put a lot of time into the game, and I care about the future of this game. I will still talk about Dead by Daylight. However, sometimes I might just want to make a video where I clown on something that's going on TikTok, or where I review a movie that I really enjoy. Currently, there is a review for Mass Effect Andromeda in the works, a 4 years later retrospective that I'm really proud of, and I think it's turning out really well. And I hate that I mentioned in this video because now I actually have to finish it. But I just wanted to give that little bit of channel news that this is not going to be a DBD exclusive channel anymore. It will still lean DBD, but it's going to have some other videos, which may be out as soon as this week. So thank you so much for watching through to the end. If you did, I love you. I appreciate you. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Please do let me know down below. Do you think it's Hellraiser coming to the game? How do you feel about Stranger Things leaving the game? And what videos would you like to see if they're not Dead by Daylight related? What direction do you want this channel to go, I suppose? Thank you so much for watching. I love each and every one of you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, foodies.